And Media Day was today, man. Media Day was today. Boston Celtics, as of course you guys know the news, just happened yesterday. Drew Holiday got traded to the Boston Celtics. Celtics trade away Rob Williams and Malcolm Brogdon amongst picks to bring in Drew Holiday, and we'll dive into whether that was too much of a haul. What does this lineup look like? But I want to just go over. I really want to focus on Brad Stevens. I want to talk about Brad Stevens today and his reign as the general manager. Look, I had my problems with Brad as a coach. I feel like when talent was there, he couldn't really galvanize the guys. You look at that 2018 squad with the Kyries, the Gordon Haywards, the young JB, the young JT, Terry Rozier trying to find his way. It was too much. He couldn't maximize it. I didn't like what I saw in the bubble with Brad Stevens, and then the year after, it just all came to shit pretty much. So I thought he was soft, wasn't really feeling. He didn't seem like he had the guys anymore. So I liked the move of him stepping down, or if you could say stepping up, as general manager, and he's been on a roll, man. I'm not even gonna hold you. As much as I had some distaste for what he was doing as a coach, as a GM, here's when I knew Brad Stevens was a dog. Because I ain't never seen this, bro. He gets appointed as general manager, right? It's the middle of the playoffs, bro. It is the middle of the playoffs. And Brad Stevens trades away Kemba Walker. Kemba had to go. Knees deteriorated. This is a guy who was just happy to be here. Happy to be here, but his knees was done. He couldn't give you what you need to give you. But goddamn, to trade someone in the middle of the damn play, it was like the Eastern and Western Conference Finals, and Kemba was out of there. Got traded to OKC. And you bring back Al Horford. First of all, the trade for Kemba is supposed to be a salary dump. It's like, oh, you get an Al Horford who hasn't played at all in OKC, and Al Horford comes back rejuvenated and has been a big part of the Celtics run in the past two years. Okay, so that's one move. I'm like, oh, Brad might have a little dog in him. That was kind of wild trading someone that quick when you just got the job. Cool. Then in the middle of the season of Ime's run, he brings in Derek White. And we all knew Derek White as a nice player. He comes in that first year. He's okay. You still felt like it was an upgrade for what you gave away. He was all right. You gave away a first round pick as well. Then that second year, this past season, Derek White's your third best player on the team. So that's another A+ for Brad Stevens. Love that move. Derek White is going to have a bigger role. He's got to play 30 minutes this season. Derek White has to play 30+ minutes this season. That's how valuable he is to this team. Somebody talk to Joe Mazzulla. So he brings in Derek White. You go into this offseason, you find out going to this past offseason, Rob gets hurt, and you think that's just going to be like the worst news of that Celtics, that Rob is hurt, he needs surgery, whatever. Then with the whole Ime Udoka situation happens, we're not going to chronicleize everything that happened with that, but it's like, damn. Did that front office handle that well? Hell no. I think the Celtics butchered the whole thing. And we've spoken about it on Double M many times, so you can see how Mike and I felt about that. But to appoint Mazzulla as the coach, that's one thing. You still, you had Damon Stoudemire there, who seemed to be the first assistant head coach. Mazzulla was in the back. When you look at the coaching standard, Mazzulla was sitting behind the assistant coaches. You know what I'm saying? But Brad saw a lot of himself in Mazzulla and made him interim head coach. We were okay with that. He's the interim head coach. Celtics were balling to start off the year. Things looked great. But he hasn't faced any adversity. By the time it was getting close to All-Star, they gave him a contract, signed him long-term. And I think that was a mistake. A huge mistake to just jump the gun right there and to sign Mizzou. I think that's the blemish right there on Brad Stevens. So far, great general manager. I thought that was kind of weird to just give Missoula, and then Missoula was getting outcoached in the playoffs. He yo, what's that saying? Deer in the headlight, whatever. He was shook. And let's not talk about what Eric Spoelstra did to that boy. So now you add in some coaches, you bring in Sam Cassell, you bring the assistant coach, I'm blanking on his name currently right now, from the Milwaukee Bucks. Start bringing some real veteran coaches in there too, just in case Missoula starts to stray off. There's some people there to say, nah, we got to focus on this aspect of it. Then we talk about this offseason. Celtics fall short against the Miami Heat in disgusting fashion, by the way. And some changes need to be made. Brad comes out and says, we're going to do whatever it takes to win a championship. We don't care about this second apron and the tax and all of that. Because, the NBA changed up some rules here, and they're going to make it hard for the Celtics to get some big names. Brad Stevens said, F all that. That's what he said. General managers can say things. First thing he does, he tries to get rid of Brogdon. And it made sense. Brogdon was, when you go into the offseason, you knew that this little 3-man point guard or 3-man guard rotation, they tried it out. It was cute. It looked great in the regular season, but you knew it wasn't going to last. And you knew it couldn't happen. You couldn't have Marcus Smart, Derek White, and Brogdon going into the year again. So I thought, and I think the consensus was, damn, Brogdon's out of here. Because we're not getting rid of Smart. We're not getting rid of White, who's your third best player on the team, who damn near saved you the playoffs. So they try to get rid of Brogdon. What happens? They do the trade. Everything's handy-dandy. He's about to go to Washington. We're about to get Porzingis. Oh, my God, this is a home run. Nope. The league starts whispering, Brogdon might not be healthy. Brogdon might need some surgery with that elbow. And ruins the trade. X's the trade. And it's not like, oh, Brogdon was in trade rumors. Nah, that boy got traded. They sent the papers. It was about to be official, signed, sealed, and delivered. Last second, they got cold feet with the physical and such. And now things are awkward. And by the way, Porzingis, he's like, yo, Celtics, y'all got 24 hours before I become a free agent. And once I become a free agent, it's free game. I want to come to you guys, Celtics. I'm committed to y'all. But if you don't get this deal done, it's wraps. Whoever gives me the bread, I'm going to. So now Brad Stevens sweating. So what does he do? In the thick of things, in the heat, this man had the balls to trade Marcus Smart, your longest tenured player, fan favorite, Marcus Smart. Now that's different. That's different. Now you're really showing me, oh, you're really trying to win. You really don't give a damn. Getting rid of Marcus Smart, you're gonna lose some defense. You're gonna have to find a way to, the fans are gonna be mad. Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum gonna question it, but you're trying to win now. Bring in Porzingis. So Marcus Smart is gone. And that's how we thought this offseason was gonna go. We just thought, Porzingis was gonna be the addition. Yeah, there was talks about Dame Lillard. Celtics were flirting with it. Realistically, I don't think we had a chance. Because how are you gonna Celtics didn't have a chance with Dame. So things is calm. It's calm blood. It's calm. Till 2-3 nights ago, as we are recording. Dame gets traded. Drew Holiday's out the picture for the Milwaukee Bucks. He gets traded to the Blazers. And I promise you, as soon as that happened, I said, wait a minute. And it was obvious. I'm not saying, as soon as it happened, we're like, wait. So that means Drew's available. If Drew's available, Celtics, do whatever you can. My mind automatically goes, well, Brogdon's already pissed off due to the fact that you try to trade him, and now things are going to be weird. And I'm thinking maybe Horford. I know the Celtics love Horford. That's the first thing that came to my mind was, oh man, Horford and Brogdon for Drew. I think the Blazers might take it. But once again, Blazers sitting pretty. They know everybody wants Drew. So they talk to the Celtics and like, look, y'all can have Drew Holiday, but we want Robert Williams. And if you think about hanging up, that's fine with us. There's 10 other contenders that want Drew Holiday. So we're not going to take too long to entertain your talk, Celtics. So I think it was what? Drew was a Blazer for what? A day and a half, maybe 2 days max? The trade got done. Rob is out the door. Brogdon is out the door. And you get Drew Holiday. Shout out to Brogdon. Like, Brogdon was good for the Celtics. 15 points, 4 assists, shot 44% from the three. Those are great numbers. I didn't like how he was utilized. I thought he'd be utilized a lot different with this team. I thought he'd be more of a point guard. He was more of a marksman, a shooter, which was great. You know, coming from Pacers that last year, he was shooting abysmal 31% from the field. Comes to the Celtics shooting, 31 from the 3-point line. Goes to the Celtics shooting 44. Because you knew he was going to get open looks, and he knocked them down consistently till the playoffs where everything derailed. Started questioning himself. He got hurt with the elbow, and then it was just all bad from there. Rob Williams, a project that came to fruition. I feel like Celtics always draft projects. This one came to fruition. Rob Williams became a player. There was a point in time Rob Williams was unplayable because of his defense. We forget that. Rob Williams was unplayable because of his defense. You guys remember the bubble? They had to start playing Grant in the fourth quarter over Rob because Rob would just jump. He'd bite everything. I remember Serge Ibaka, what Serge Ibaka was doing to Rob Williams. So now you bring in, now Rob Williams develops. All of a sudden, he starts to understand everything. Then Ime comes in and unlocks him, unlocks Rob. You're going to put Rob on a non-shooting big, and he's just going to be the floater. And the defense was amazing. Disrupted everyone. You got the best out of Rob. You got the best out of Smart. And then the whole team collectively played amazing defense. Only thing about Rob is he can't stay healthy. And then what we saw in these playoffs is offensively, he starts to become a liability. If you're not going to throw a lob to Rob, there's not much you're getting out of him. He passed up a lot of shots in the post because he just didn't have any post game. He didn't have anything he could work with in there. He was great defensively. The second chance points, much needed from the Celtics. But I think he can make that up. I honestly think you can make that up. And the Celtics are damn near trying with all the big men they signed. They're going to try to figure it out. So it hurts to see Rob go. But what you get in return with Drew Holiday, man, I've been asking us to get Drew Holiday for years. Once he was a free agent with the New Orleans Pelicans, I was on Twitter. Let's get Drew. He went to the Bucks. I was pissed. I wanted a lineup with Marcus Smart and Drew Holiday. I thought that was going to be amazing. Now we got Drew Holiday with no Marcus Smart. And what I didn't know is Brad Stevens in Media Day, he comes out and was like, yo, I will go up to Danny Ainge's office every year and be like, hey, can we get Drew Holiday somehow? Brad's always been a fan. So this whole thing I'm talking about right now, this little speech on Brad Stevens. Brad Stevens made some moves, man. I had to tip my hat off to Brad Stevens in the front office. Any team that's going all out to try to win a championship, I respect. Forget the picks. Forget the future. It's now. We saw this. I'm always gonna do sports references, man. I'm sorry. I'm always gonna do cross sports references. Look at the Rams. Look what the Rams did for one championship. Once they got Matthew Stafford, they went all in. They bought everybody. Everyone. Ramsey, Donald, Stafford, Cup. Anyone you could think of. Bring Wagner. Anybody. Let's go win this chip. Trade away everything. We don't care about the future. And they won. And it was worth it because you got a Super Bowl ring. The way we look at Matthew Stafford has completely changed in everyone's eyes. Let's look at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Once they got Brady, what happened? We bought everything. Trade away anything that trade away all these picks. Let's bring in some dogs. Let's win a championship. And they damn near went to the Super Bowl twice. They got one ring out of it. But here's the difference between those two teams and the Celtics. Stafford, late 30s. Brady was in his 40s. You're building a team right now where the stars are Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown. 26 and 27 years old. That is beautiful. Or is it 26 and 25? It could be even better than that. That is the difference. They're young, but they need to win now. The window is closing. We see this happen. Honestly, Celtics are lucky to have this extended window. They're so lucky to have this extended window. This doesn't happen in the NBA. They've been on a hunt for a championship since 2018, realistically. Yes, the Isaiah Thomas runs were great. But realistically, 2018, it is 2023. That's 5 years. Windows don't usually have windows aren't open for 5 years usually. They start to close. And now when you put all your chips in one basket, they can shatter real quick. So I respect the organization, what they're doing. I love the moves that they're making, that they've making and that they've made. Brad's even come out and said that, hey, we still got room to make a couple more moves if need be. We'll dive in on the Celtics more, on what this holiday trade means for the Celtics and such, but just wanted to talk a little bit about Brad Stevens and the moves that was made here. Next episode, I think I'm gonna get Mike Nice on here, and we'll dive in more on this wild off season and what to expect.